So we all know that football cards aren't all about money, but it sure would be nice to make an extra 1 to 2K a month flipping sports cards on the side while having fun and growing our personal collection. So what we're gonna do today in this video is reveal the winner of the $100 August challenge and break down some of the strategies he used to turn his $100 on August 1st into $528 on September 1st. And make sure you watch to the end of the video because I discuss how this strategy has got to naturally evolve as we go into the regular season, which is now just a week away, and where I see the next big opportunities in the football card market. Let's dig in. I want to thank everybody who participated in the $100 August challenge. If you're new here, on August 1st, I made a video and I asked the community to imagine they only had $100 to invest in August and you had to pick one QB, one running back, and one wide receiver. And the guys came with a variety of picks, and it was very eye-opening and educational experience because it forced me to track the card prices of all their picks throughout the month, and not just players that I was targeting, but players that all of these guys were targeting. So I'm happy to announce that the winner is the Card Dojo. And he is an awesome content creator here on YouTube. He does great sound effects, constantly on the hunt for his beloved Chiefs rookie cards. And I remember when he submitted his picks, he gave me a bit of insight into his strategy, which is a strategy that I've also talked about in the previous months, going all the way back to my very first video, and that is he's going for the volume. Well, guess what? You were right. So this leads me into the first strategy that we can learn from the Card Dojo's success in August. And this particularly applies to all of us investing on a fairly tight budget. And so this is a huge takeaway from the August $100 challenge. And more guys like myself and you that are avid fantasy football players that observe the entire player pool of the NFL, we're seeing an increased demand for good athletes in fantasy that cause hype and press coverage, which in turn affects the rookie card prices, starting with the Prism and branching out to the Optic, the Select, the Base Donruss. These other really awesome athletes in the NFL are now getting the attention they deserve and the value increases they deserve. It's much easier for a raw card to go from $4 or $5 per card to $20 to $25 per card than it is for a raw card to go from $50 per card to $150 per card. In order for that card to go from 50 to 150 or 40 to 160, that player would have to be absolutely generational and literally make the most unbelievable highlight that you've ever seen on the football field. We're talking a one-handed catch followed by jumping over a lineman, followed by stiff arming a linebacker to the ground, followed by pancaking a corner, and then doing a backflip into the end zone. This is why I've been saying from day one, we should be investing in NFL skill position players based on their athletic profile. And the simple fact is that 60 days ago, 90% of these guys had prisms and optics that were trading under $10 to $5 per card. And now they've come up to a realistic number of $20 to $30, which is realistic when you look at the entire quarterback player pool of the NFL. And then you also look at secondary skill position players of other sports like baseball and basketball. The Card Dojo really hit the nail on the head with his quarterback selection in the base prism of Teddy Bridgewater. And if you look back, Teddy B's rookie card was bound to break out. I've been talking about how Teddy B has had an accurate passer rating, his deep ball completion percentage, and his money throw completion percentage has been accurate over the years. And he's now had a year to learn from one of the all-time greats in Drew Brees. So you look at the Card Dojo's wide receiver pick in Calvin Ridley, and Calvin Ridley's a guy I talked about in my very first video back in the middle of June. And his cards, to be honest, didn't really budge here until recently, about halfway through August. I'm not entirely sure which news outlet really hyped him up and exposed his athletic talent, which in turn caused his rookie cards to explode. But we've seen gradual increases in Matt Ryan and Julio Jones over the past 2 months because of their resume and history, and it's only natural for Calvin Ridley to be next. He's an incredible athlete. They had tons of vacated targets. Atlanta has one of the toughest schedules this year, and they're going to be forced to air it out a lot. They don't have the greatest defense. They're about middle of the pack in Vegas projections. Matt Ryan is certainly going to be airing it out a lot, and you could easily see a 1,000-yard season for both Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones. I think we could easily see Julio Jones be the #1 fantasy wide receiver because of the chemistry they have, because of how good of an athlete he is. And we saw a big jump in his rookie card price in August as well. But when you consider how low Calvin Ridley's rookie base Prism rookie card was at before August and what it's at now, investing in a Prism rookie card of a good athlete for $4 per card, it's just so little downside. So even if he didn't break out, that card's really not going to go down anymore because of his athletic profile. And we look at a guy like DJ Chark on the Jacksonville Jaguars, or Gardner Minshew, incredibly accurate passer. His rookie cards are very low right now. It's because the Jacksonville Jaguars are at the bottom of the rung. So investing in Calvin Ridley's base Prism rookie card at $4 per card was a brilliant move by the Card Dojo, and it allowed him to buy that card in volume, and selling for a 4 to 5x return is very doable when you start out at a $4 per card price, compared to buying a Michael Thomas or a Chris Godwin, who's already got a Prism rookie card trading at $40, $50, now $60 to $70, but that increase is only a 50% increase over that time, which is still okay, it's still good, but it also requires you to spend more of your bankroll, and you're not going to be able to get the same volume as you could of Calvin Ridley at $4 per card. Talking about buying raw and selling raw, because if you're like me and like a lot of us in this community, we dedicate a certain percentage, small percentage of our income, because we got bills to pay, we got mouths to feed. There's not a ton of excess cash flow just sitting around to invest. So if you're not already, just take a second, go down and hit that little subscribe button. And that's gonna do 2 things. A, that's gonna notify you my next premiere comes out. And B, you're gonna be directly supporting the growth of all the non-QB skill positions in the NFL. Because supporting and growing all these non-QB cards is part of our primary mission here. Look at the comments, engage with the rest of the community. We have a lot of passion for football and the NFL and football cards and fantasy football, and we want to see the hobby and the games that we love grow as a whole, and we want to make money doing it at the same time, because that just makes it even more fun. That allows us to spend more time doing it. So we have to be creative, we have to capitalize on the raw cards. So guys, look for those athletic profiles that fit the bill. Whether or not they have the target share, the opportunity now doesn't really matter, because if they have the athletic profile, one day they're going to get the opportunity. It may be week 1 this year, it may be week 4, maybe week 8, week 10, but buying them now at that sub $5 per card raw price on their Prism rookie card, and then you're ready for when they do get the opportunity and they execute well because they have the athletic profile for it, and then their rookie card breaks out. A prime example of this is a guy like Tre'Quan Smith. He gets a ton of snap share in New Orleans, and behind Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, he's a young guy. He's got an incredible athletic profile. It's just a matter of time before Tre'Quan Smith gets his opportunity on the field and executing. It could be this year, it could be next year, but he's a young player and he's got Prism rookie cards that are trading for sub $5 right now, because he's not getting the bulk of the opportunity share like Michael Thomas. And now you have Emmanuel Sanders in the mix, but Emmanuel Sanders is a very old veteran, definitely on his decline. And so that could bump Tre'Quan Smith to the number 2. Same thing with a guy like Allen Lazard. He's not the number 1 on the wide receiving core of Green Bay, Devontae Adams, but it's only a matter of time because of his athletic profile being so similar to a guy like Mike Evans that Allen Lazard breaks out on the Green Bay Packers. They went 13-3 last year, and we're going to see them throwing the ball more. And Allen Lazard right now with sub $10 to $5 Prism rookie cards is another prime candidate to break out. And I could name more, but I'm gonna release a video on my sleeper picks for 2020. What are we gonna see break out next in the football card market? My belief is that we're going to see an increase in all of these badass defensive players. We're talking defensive ends, outside linebackers, defensive tackles, and corners. And we're gonna start with the guys that are the sack monsters, the guys that are making the big sacks, the big forced fumbles, strip sacks, tackles for losses, batted passes, those big splash defensive plays where they get that sack and rah, you know? Think of guys like J.J. Watt and Nick Bosa and Shaquille Barrett and Myles Garrett and Chandler Jones. And then I want to transition to linebackers and corners and safeties, guys that are making big interceptions, guys that have athletic profiles like wide receivers. And I think of guys like Stephon Gilmore. I think of guys like Richard Sherman. I think of guys like Kevin King. So I hope to see you guys in the next video, the next live stream. We'll be talking about defensive players, doing a deep dive on them. Baseball card.
Let me know if you want me to.
The baseball card. Whoa, look at all these boxes, dude.
Yeah.
Look at all these boxes here.
I think that's just for
They
I think it's 2 points. So if they win this, it's 3.
a couple candy. Oh, that's pretty cool. I might get
Dan Marino, man.
Everyone's favorite, Xavier Howard.
First year optic.
Antonio Brown, first year optic. Emmanuel Sanders. James Harden. Hey, James Harden card.
How did that get in there?
I don't know.
Is that David Johnson?
David Johnson. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 1 year slightly younger. Keenan Allen, your boy.
Yeah.
And then if you notice, this case is empty. I'm gonna make that into a what's called a chase case, where people do pulls for like $10, and they're all numbered. I'll put like 200 cards numbered, and there'll be like a $500 card, a $300 card, a $200 card, and then there'll be a lot of $5 and $10 cards as well. But when you pull a poker chip out of the bag, whatever number's on the poker chip is the card you get in the case. So that's gonna be in the works.
That's awesome, man. That's cool. One week away from the regular season starting. I'll see you guys in that next video. Peace.